Hi, everyone. Welcome to another Terry Talk. Last week, bit of shocking news coming out of New Zealand. Jacinda Ardern, the Prime Minister there for the past several years, announced somewhat unexpectedly her resignation. Why is this so remarkable? What's the big deal? Well, first of all, she was the youngest Prime Minister in New Zealand's history. Also, let's face it, female, and not many female prime ministers or leaders across the world. That made her stand out. Also, she gave birth while in office. I think there was only one other leader in like recent times that's actually done that, given birth while in office. And then what was really interesting is 3 months after giving birth, she was at the Nelson Mandela Peace Summit and gave a speech and held her baby in her lap during that speech. How cool is that? She led the country during some pretty tumultuous times. They had a massive earthquake, you may recall, a few years ago, totally devastating the country. They had a shooting at a mosque. It was devastating to the country, and of course, COVID. But not surprisingly, in a country of 5 million, only 25 people died of COVID there. And there's some pundits who argue that it was too draconian and whatnot, but nonetheless, she had a pretty good track record. So what I thought was really interesting, or would be interesting, is what are some of the qualities, leadership qualities, that she exuded? And I might add that sort of are envious. I mean, a lot of leaders could learn a lot from her. The first one being self-awareness. And here's a person who said, and I quote, "I'm leaving because with such a privileged role comes a responsibility, the responsibility to know when you're the right person to lead and also when you're not. I know what this job takes, and I know that I no longer have enough in the tank to do it justice. It's that simple." Wow. Like, talk about being in touch with who you are. Incredible. The other thing that is always amazing when you look at her leadership, she always talked about we, never about I. She was all in on teams. And you know what? It makes a difference. When your leader speaks about the collective as opposed to the individual themselves, it makes you feel part of a team. You want to give a little bit more. You want to give a little bit more of that discretionary effort. I think also that she's known for being decisive. She always acted quickly, never stalled, never, kind of dithered with things, made decisions. Didn't always have to agree with them, but you had to agree on this. She did it in a timely fashion, didn't waste any time. The other thing, she built trust in people. It never assumed it, by the way. She earned it. She earned that through listening and engaging with others, which leads to another quality I think is enviable of hers, which is authenticity. People consistently described her as somebody who was warm and down to earth. Along the same vein, she was always calm under pressure, never ever panicking. COVID, calm. We're gonna get through this. The earthquakes, we're gonna get through this. The mass casualty event, we're gonna get through this. Calm makes a difference and instills confidence in others when you exude that calm under pressure. Probably her biggest trait, though, I think of all, is her empathy. I think the Prime Minister of Australia summed it up brilliantly last week when he said, "She has shown the world how to lead with intellect and strength. She has demonstrated that empathy and insight are powerful leadership qualities." I think he got that one bang on. Finally, when she was asked, how do you want New Zealanders to remember her? She said, and I quote, "As someone who always tried to be kind. I hope I leave New Zealanders with a belief that you can be kind, be strong, be empathetic, but decisive, be optimistic and focused, and that you can be your own kind of leader, one who knows when it's time to go." That's self-awareness again. I think that makes a list of some really tremendous leadership qualities. Love to hear from you. What are your thoughts on this? And we'll see you again next week.